right, guys, let's talk about fitness when you're an entrepreneur, business owner, or anything close to that where you have a really busy and like a tight schedule. So this is how to stay in shape or get in better shape, mainly when time is not of the essence. How do I get things on the go? And how do I keep myself awake while prioritizing my health? So there's a couple major things here, right? First of all, let's touch on time. So we have time, we have keeping yourself healthy, and besides that, we have keeping yourself pretty much awake, right? After doing all this. Biggest issue is time. Now, let's start with actually going to bed at a proper time. As entrepreneurs, business owners, when you're working yourself, making content, whatever it is, you and I both know that, 4 o'clock becomes 5, 6, 7, 8. Before we know it, we're up till catching the clock at 11:30 and realizing, oh, it's getting late. I got to be up at 6 tomorrow, but let's just finish up what we're doing really quickly, right? So you finish up what you're doing really quickly, and before you know it, it's 2 in the morning. So what do? Well, that's when you need to put a cap on it. Now, I'm not saying stop working, because that does take priority for somebody who's watching this video, right? However, you need to know how to make your program, both in the gym and out of the gym, a bit more fine-tuned to make sure that you can do all the things that you need to do. It sounds simple enough, but it's really not. One of the biggest things I recommend is one of those old school like scheduling calendars where you flip the page every single day. When you use those, categorize your day. I don't care if you write it for a week in advance. What you have to do every single day, your appointments, when you're going to train, when you're going to cook, when you do this, that, and the next thing. Follow that to the T. That's going to be your life. So from here on out, if it's not in that book, you don't have time for it. And if it needs to be done, you better add it to the book. That book, that little calendar right there, is going to be your only sense of what you actually do in the day versus what you don't do in the day. And there's methodology behind that, right? So it's not about saying, oh, I'm restricting myself, what I can do, what I can't do. It's saying that you're not going to spend your time wasted. So if there's nothing you wouldn't want to write in that book, like scroll social media for 7 hours from 3 to 10, you're not going to do it. So if you need to do it, you write it in that book first, and then you do it. That's the biggest thing, is your scheduling. Now let's talk about time management. There's a lot of things that can be done at the same time that we don't always prioritize. You can answer your emails while you're cooking your meal prep. One of the biggest things I recommend for people is how they do their meal prep, right? So you want to pick meals, you want to pick foods, and you want to cook them in bulk that make your life easier. They last long in the fridge, and it's clean. What am I talking about? Depends what appliances you have. So as far as the meal prep goes, let's talk about what you need to go buy if you don't have it. A rice cooker, a slow cooker, crock pot, something like that, and hopefully you have an oven. If you don't, not the end of the world, but it really does make your life a lot easier. That rice cooker, first of all, this is what I do every single night. I put rice in there before I go to bed all night. It cooks all night. It cooks for 45 minutes, and then it's been warming for 6, 7 hours, depending on how long I'm actually asleep. So the next day, I just take from that all day long. That's my rice for the day. That's my carbs for the day. And before I go anywhere, I meal prep my food. For me, that's how I have my schedule fine-tuned. I'll get up a little extra earlier. I'll prep my meals for the day with food that's already prepared. It's already cooked. But things like portioning out my rice, for instance. Another thing with the rice is to make sure you have emergency rations on hand. It sounds silly, but those minute rice containers, the one you heat up in the microwave, are they good to eat every day? No, of course not. But in a pinch, it takes a minute to warm it up. Excuse me, instead of missing your meals. Now, let's talk about caffeine, because I need to clear my throat a little bit. Caffeine is something that's going to actually get, as you know, and I know you know all too well, it's going to help you get done what you need to get done, right? Wake up in the morning, take it throughout the day, it doesn't matter. But just don't take it late at night, because you want to be able to get your proper sleep. If you're not sleeping well, you're not going to recover properly. The last thing you need when you're answering emails or dealing with clients is a foggy brain. For me, it's ABED here, but I've always used the Applied Nutrition stuff. I work very closely with them. Cheers. Oh, the camera's over here. Boom. This is the berry flavor. There's 200 milligrams of caffeine in this. I'll crack open 1 or 2 of those a day, aside my coffee and aside my pre-workout. So I eat enough coffee. I drink enough coffee. And I eat it too, because those chocolate covered espresso beans, you know, I'm popping energy, baby, all freaking day long. And then at night, I crash and sleep like a baby. Now, you need to know how to use that energy properly. So if you're not using it properly, it doesn't matter how much energy you have. It's going out the wayside, right? It doesn't matter. That's where your scheduling comes in. So you're caffeinated now. You got plenty of sleep. Your rice was made all day long. You have your food prepped in the fridge, because whenever you wrote on your schedule, when you get a meal prep, you know it's good for X amount of days. Everything's set in stone. Everything's ready to go. So you ask yourself, what's next? Your workouts. Workouts, they can be a little tricky to plan when you're an entrepreneur, business owner, influencer, not really influencer, but something like that, because you need to know when you can fit it in your schedule. And we've all heard the classic phrase of, oh, you work for yourself, you can work out whenever you want, right? And you know, it's true, we can. However, if I have, and I really care about my training, obviously, you guys know my channel. If I have a meeting at 12 and I like to train around 10:30, get out of there at 12, but if I need to be on a Zoom call at 12, I don't want to rush my workout, nor will I rush my workout. I don't want to train later in the day, because I know I'll get a better lifting session with 2 meals in me right then and there in that part of the day. So what am I going to do? That's when I understand what my schedule looks like the night prior. I go to bed a little bit earlier, wake up a bit earlier, and then from there, deal with my barking dog. And then from there, Archie baby, come here. Come here. Come. Come. The lady who lives above me has a Chihuahua, and it's a puppy. And it barks at everything. My dog's usually pretty cool when that dog starts barking. Archie baby, come. Come here. He's just staring at the wall as that dog barks. Anyway. Arch, come here. Apologies for that. But that's a good example of what happens with your schedule. It gets wildly uprooted for no reason whatsoever. You have a barking dog upstairs, your schedule will change now. If you're on a call, you have a barking dog, the schedule changes. Trying to film content, you know, we're 10 minutes into this video right now. I'm not gonna, 8 minutes, whatever it is. I'm not gonna reset everything because he's yipping a little bit. Where are you? Archie baby. You're handsome and you're a good boy, but you can't listen to him upstairs. He's a dummy. He's a good boy though. So understand how to deal with crisis when it uproots your schedule a little bit. Plain and simple. The best way to do that is, you know, it's something I tell myself a lot, where if I'm realizing it's way later than it's supposed to be and I should be asleep by now, right? I'll look at the clock and be like, oh shit. But I'll tell myself, I'm like, listen, I've accepted that I'm not getting ample sleep tonight. I've accepted I'm not getting all the sleep I should be getting. So I'm not gonna mess up the rest of tonight. I'm not gonna mess up my tomorrow. Let me do everything I'm supposed to do before bed, finish my meals, finish whatever work I was gonna get done, go to sleep and do better tomorrow. I'd rather sacrifice a little bit of sleep funny dog. I'd rather sacrifice a little bit of sleep and be groggy the next day, at least for a little bit, until I can, stim myself up, than regret that night for both not getting everything done and going to bed too late anyway. Because if I was gonna be groggy the next day regardless, I might as well go into the day doing what I was supposed to freaking do, man. But when it comes, we're circling this all back, don't worry. Back to your workouts, back to your training. You need a training split that makes sense for you. And believe it or not, training less will actually give you better results, right? So for me, the most I ever grew and the fastest I've ever grown was on a 4-day-a-week training split. So I had one chest and shoulder day, a leg day, back, and then, what was it? I had a leg day, I haven't done the split in a minute, and I'll tell you why. I had a full leg day, just legs. From there, I had a chest. Oh, it was chest and front delts. No, what am I thinking about here? Regardless, leg day, full back day by itself, shoulder day, arms, yeah, that's it. Chest, shoulders, arms. Yeah, where am I losing myself? Regardless. Because I'm trying to think, because my split right now is the following. Monday I do back. Tuesday chest. Wednesday I rest. Thursday arms. Friday legs. Saturday shoulders. Sunday rest. For me, I needed that additional arm day because otherwise they wouldn't grow. They wouldn't freaking budge. For me, they're my weak point. They're not bad by any means, but as a bodybuilder and who I am, they weren't up to par with the rest of me, which that's unacceptable. You know what I mean? So we had to fix it. We had to correlate to where even though everything else in my body grew rapidly with a 4-day-a-week split, that 5th day with that arm day is something my body needed to allow my weaker links. There he is. My weaker links to grow. He just kind of wanders around. If you guys want, leave me a comment. I'll make a video about what that 4-day-a-week split looks like, how to optimize it, and how to optimize your lifts based on what your week looks like. But the biggest thing you want to do is with that 4-day-a-week split especially, there's a lot of room to maneuver moving rest days if you need to, because crisis comes into play. Where you had an emergency meeting last minute or you couldn't get to the gym for this day, it's okay. Because you can move things, I'm not going to train chest day, I'll rest today, instead I'll hit it tomorrow. Because you're still plenty far away from your next chest day, right? There's plenty of time for your muscles to recover instead of rushing and realizing, oh man, but I have chest again this day. Not gonna be enough time to recover. What am I gonna do? So, to be honest, that's about all you need to know for a quick crash course on how to be an athlete. And stay tuned because I have one more tip for you. Because not that I was trying to hold it against me, I forgot until now. But that's about what you need to know besides what I'm about to tell you about being an athlete and an entrepreneur, business owner, self-employed, whatever it is. It's not as glamorous as people think. We're very, very busy. And we have deadlines just like everybody else. Granted, there are our own deadlines, but if your word isn't the most important thing, then you listen to the wrong people, man. You got to listen to yourself. Where is he? Oh, you see little snakes of them. So the other last important thing, I keep saying the most important thing, but it really all is, it just correlates really well together, is your nutrition. If you're trying to be an athlete, entrepreneur, business owner, everything good, right? And you're eating junk food, your brain is going to work like junk. When you're in this type of lifestyle, you need, and I can't emphasize this enough, you need a very high protein, high fat diet. If you're eating a lot of carbohydrates, now for me, I eat a lot of carbs because I'm a bodybuilder. So I need those carbs to put more glycogen in my muscle, but I eat plenty of fats as well. cholesterol that comes in the fats, and cholesterol is very good for you. It is the #1 fuel source for your brain. So if you're not fueling your brain, you're going to find yourself getting rapidly fatigued. Unlike my dog, rapidly fatigued, not thinking straight, not clear enough, brain fog, everything. So you guys, do yourselves a favor. Eat good food, get plenty of sleep, train hard, run your company, and be the biggest company you can possibly be. I hope to see you guys thriving. And as you know, we're using this channel, we're trying to grow as big as we possibly can to basically just continue to donate all the money from the ad revenue. Now, not donating it to nonsense charities, but doing the work ourselves as an entrepreneur. Because when you're in deep in the business world like I am, and I'm sure you are, you know that people never put that money that you donate into the right places. Half the time it goes in their own pocket. So we're going to be donating food, expenses, things like this, to helping as many people as we can to make sure that all the money that we get from ad revenue goes to the right places. Now, I don't want your money, right? But if you can like, comment, share the video, and subscribe, that helps us tremendously. But you know what? That's it. I'll see you guys soon. Hope you have a great freaking day, and take it easy, my friends.